Guys, it's snowing. Actual snow. Like, we don't really get it here that much. Where I am in the UK, I'm kind of in the middle. So it's usually gone within a day, especially when the rain comes. But we've had it for 2 days now and it looks so magical outside. I've done lots of playing outside in it because what's a girl to do? And I wanted to do a cool little photo shoot outside. I've really got into my creative photography lately. I love doing fantasy shoots and editing them on Photoshop to try and get like some really magical elements in. So yeah, I think the shots that I got look pretty cool actually, so I will post them here as well. I've also made a gorgeous herbal tea this morning, which is really nice for freezing days like today. It's got 1 part thyme, 1 part sage, and what else? A 1 part nettle leaf. And it's a really great tea, not only to keep you warm and boost your immunity, but it's also great for protection. If you've got some chaotic or negative energy, it's really great for cleansing that. And I think for this time of year, when it is winter and the nights start to get dark and that seasonal depression kicks in, and it's, you know, it's hard to keep up like spiritually, physically, mentally sometimes when it's cold and it's dark. So yeah, I would recommend that herbal blend tea. I also love doing like snowy rituals. One that I learned from a very old book is when you see the first snowfall of the year, you should collect it, let it melt down, and then wash your face with it. And it's meant to keep you looking beautiful and youthful. So there you go, witch tip. And because snow actually symbolises purity, stillness and calmness, it's a really good time for spell casting for any of those things. So again, if you're you just need to feel more tranquil, more calm, if sleeping is an issue for you right now, you could store some snow up and use it for those spells, or use it for future use. Just jar it up, let it melt, and then just make sure to label it and date it. Another thing I love to do when it's this type of weather is to do crafts. So today I'm actually going to be doing a fairy lantern jar. You don't really need that many materials. I've just used stuff that I've already got in the house and you can tweak it. But I'm making it for my best friend who's currently housebound because she's had a knee operation, which must suck, especially when it's snowing. So yeah, I'm gonna make it for her to hopefully cheer her up. She loves fairies. She's loved them before. We all love fairies. I mean, her MySpace name was Fairy, so you know, the girl loves them. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that today. Hopefully you enjoy that. And because I'm new at this YouTube stuff, if you have any like questions or stuff that you want to see, just make sure you pop it in the comments. So some of the things you're going to need is an empty glass jar, some glitter, you can use mica but that's just an option, some fake snow, tissue paper, some brushes or sponges, and then a fairy cutout, which you can't see very well there, and some glue. And you're going to start off by just gluing round the outside of the glass jar. And then you're going to take a piece of tissue paper and just wrap it around the jar carefully. Try not to tear it too much, although if you do tear it at any point it's fine because it'll give it that rustic look anyway. And then I'm just gluing the last bit of the jar for the tissue to lap over each other. And you can either cut the tissue paper to size, or you can just do what I'm doing here and just glue it to the bottom of the jar. Then I'm just going to go over with some more glue to just make sure the tissue paper is secure onto the jar. And then you're going to leave it to stand for about an hour once you've glued it, so that it's dry to the touch. Once it's dry, I'm going to weed my vinyl, which is what I've done my fairy cut out on. If you don't have a cry cut, you could just draw your own fairy and cut it out and glue it to the inside of the jar. And I'm just using my weeding tool here to flatten down the fairy onto the jar so there's no wrinkles or anything in it. Now I'm going to glue the top of the jar and then all around the bottom as well. And then I'm just adding the fake snow to the bottom and the top of the jar. You don't have to be careful about this, you can be as messy as you want. The great thing about this craft is it doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm adding some eco glitter to the tops and bottom of the jar as well. And this part is optional, but I've gone round with some extra glue. You don't want to cover the fairy up, but just go round the edges. And then I've added some mica powder, which has a shimmer to it. It's like a magical blue one, so it goes on white, but when you move the jar around or you see it in the sun, it goes this beautiful bluey colour, like an iridescent colour. I've probably used a little bit too much there though. Then again, this part is additional, but I've just added some snow spray that I had from last Christmas and just added that for an extra bit of texture. And then added some little copper lights inside, glued a piece of evergreen onto the top, and then just added some ribbon. And it's done. And you've got yourself a beautiful light up fairy jar.